Good morning and welcome into the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail broadcast booth, Sales, Service, and Recreation. We're here in Rapid City for a two-game set between the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers and your Post 22 Hardhats, and this is the J&J Truck and Auto Body pregame show presented by J&J Truck and Auto Body. For the highest quality work and hassle-free customer service, let J&J take away your stress. That's J&J Truck and Auto Body on East Philadelphia Street in Rapid City. Game one between these two teams here today, set for a little after 10:30 local mountain time. The first of this three-game set came last night, in which the Hardhats and Sixers battled in a close one. It ended up being a 2-0 victory for Post 6, but it was just a masterful performance on the mound for both clubs. Ben Bowman for Cheyenne and Eli Kelly for Rapid City. Kelly ended up going a complete game and did record the loss, but going those full 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned, just 3 walks and 2 strikeouts, in a very drastically different outing against the Cheyenne club than what Eli Kelly faced them opening weekend in Cheyenne. Because opening weekend in Cheyenne, Eli Kelly just went 2 innings in his start and allowed 7 runs in the first inning. Now, keep in mind, he just allowed 2 runs, and both of those came in the 4th, and really only gave up 2 big hits that resulted in the difference of the ball game last night. So Eli Kelly was last night's Claiborne Los and Sabres player of the game, and for good reason. He just didn't have the offensive production when he needed it from his offense. The Hardhats were able to strand a couple of base runners at third base. Zeke Farley was stranded there twice. He went 2 for 3 last night. And then Jake Solano hit a triple in the 7th inning, in the bottom of the 7th inning, and he was stranded there. And it just looking for a little bit more production when the Hardhats have runners in scoring position here today against Cheyenne in both of these games. And the Hardhats will face Bailey Applegarth on the mound today for Cheyenne in game 1. Yet to see who will throw in game 2. My guess, it's a good chance that the Hardhats might see Coulter McAnally in game 2 against the Hardhats. Brian Atkinson makes the starts for the Hardhats. He's been battling a little bit of an illness, did not travel to Gillette, and back on the mound, healthy, ready to go. And another familiar face in the lineup for the Hardhats, Hayden Hollick, is back in the lineup, and he returns to his first base position defensively after dealing with an injury off the field as well. So it's nice to see Hollick back into Coach Torvey's lineup here today against Cheyenne, and looking for production from Hollick out of the 6th spot for the Hardhats. Today's keys to the game are brought to you by Dakota Discount RV. Find the key to building lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. Take a look at their great selection of RVs at 2 locations. Dakota Discount RV is across from Cabela's and also on JB Road in Blackhawk. So key for game number 1, production with runners in scoring position. The Hardhats shut out last night, and obviously they failed when they had runners in scoring position last night. Although it did not come that often, they failed when they had that opportunity. And a couple of times last night, the Hardhats had less than 2 outs with runners in scoring position, and that's a big killer when your team doesn't produce with less than 2 outs and men on second or third base. So that's the main key to the game, and start off strong and try and get on the board here early against Cheyenne. It'll be tough. This Cheyenne club is a experienced club, and just looking for production and looking to score some runs today against Cheyenne. And, of course, looking for a good outing from Brian Atkinson on the mound. Today's starting lineups are built by Connect Home Center. Whether it's residential or commercial, Connect Home Center has been your hometown lumberyard since 1928. For the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers out of Cheyenne, Wyoming, it's Mason Tafoya who leads things off. He's the third baseman. The shortstop, Coulter McAnally, bats second. First baseman, Zach Kostopoulos, bats third. Right fielder, Dominic Lopez in the cleanup spot, followed by Hayden Swain doing the catching and batting fifth. Juan Romero, the center fielder, bats sixth. Ethan Reisdorfer bats seventh. He's the designated hitter. Keldon Hastings, the second baseman, bats eighth. And Corey Williams, the left fielder, bats ninth for the Sixers. And head coach Ty Lane. Ceremonial tap of the Hardhats around Brian Atkinson, and we are just about set to get underway here in Game 1 of this two-game doubleheader on this Sunday morning and morning-afternoon doubleheader here today. Set the defense behind Brian Atkinson before reading the lineup in the bottom half of this inning when the Hardhats coming to bat. Marion Saylor in left field, Zeke Farley, the center fielder, Harrison Good in right field. Left to right on the infield, Peyton Tipton, Wilson Kiefer, Dylan Marsh, and Hayden Hollick, with Alex Dietrich doing the catching. First pitch from Brian Atkinson, a called strike one, and we are underway at 10:33 local mountain time here in Rapid City. A little bit warmer day already, and then last night, already just about 50 degrees, and I don't think we hit that last night. Atkinson winds, kicks, and deals, and Tafoya chops it foul up the third base line. No balls and 2 strikes to count on Tafoya. The Sixers saw Atkinson in that same game that Eli pitched in Game 2 over in Cheyenne, and Atkinson went 4 solid innings against these Sixers. The 0-2 to Tafoya misses high and tight. He ducks out of the way of it. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And in relief, Brian Atkinson, 4 innings, 3 hits, 1 unearned run, 2 walks, and no strikeouts. Atkinson looking for a similar outing here today. A bouncer left side to Kiefer. He fields and fires an easy play across to Hollick in time, out number 1. Pretty routine play for Wilson Kiefer. He makes those plays look very routine and a lot easier than sometimes they actually are. But a 6-3 in the book for out number 1. Here's the dangerous Coulter McAnally. McAnally, the shortstop for Game 1. He went 0 for 3 last night. He pops this one sky high, left side in foul territory, and it's the third baseman Peyton Tipton who makes the pop fly catch for out number 2. And quickly, 2 up, 2 gone, and quickly McAnally is sat down. Now Zach Kostopoulos, the first baseman, bats from the right side. Hardhats in their clean white uniforms with Rapid City written across the chest. Kostopoulos looks at ball 1 outside from Atkinson. A number below the lettering in red. And numbers on their backs as well. White pants to go along with that. And a red stripe down the side of the leg. Kostopoulos chops the 1-0 foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. For Cheyenne, they're in navy blue uniforms with a sky blue sleeve. Post 6 written across the chest in red lettering. Breaking ball misses a touch inside on the 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. And a number below the line accompanying the letters on their chest with a sky blue outline of those letters and numbers. called strike 2 with another breaking ball. Back-to-back breaking balls that time from Atkinson. And 2s across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on and 2 gone. And a scoreless top of the first. Atkinson over the head into the wind, and the 2-2 chop foul right off of the netting in front of the Hardhats dugout. As something goes flying off of the railing. Let's do a 2-2 count on Kostopoulos. Last night, the first baseman walked, and outside of that went 0 for 2. Atkinson just misses inside, a little bit high as well on Kostopoulos on the 2-2, and now a 3-2 payoff pitch. 2 outs and nobody on. Deep breath into the wind, and here's the payoff. Atkinson to Kostopoulos, a line drive right under the glove of Dylan Marsh, and Harrison Good tried to slide to stop it and rolls up his arm, but not far enough for Kostopoulos to go for second. We'll see how that's scored right off the bat. It was kind of a sinking line drive that Dylan Marsh had to react to right out of the gates. And unable to come up with that one. So 1 on with 2 outs. It's ruled a hit. Single for Kostopoulos, and here's Dominic Lopez. Lopez in right field went 1 for 3 last night. Bats from the right side here. White batting gloves, a white and black bat as he bounces it off his right shoulder. The 0-1, line drive into center field. That'll split the outfielders and drop down for a base hit. Farley cuts it off. Kostopoulos rounds second. He heads for third, and all of a sudden it's runners on the corners with 2 gone for Cheyenne. Lopez jumping all over the first pitch that time against Atkinson. Brian Atkinson on the season. Coming into play, 13 2/3 innings. This is his 5th appearance and 4th start. A 1-1 record, 11 hits, 9 runs, only 3 earned. 8 walks, 8 strikeouts, 4 hit batters, and a 1.54 ERA. As he misses down and away with a breaking ball to Hayden Swain, the catcher. Runners on the corners, and Cheyenne threatening here early. Top half of the first. From the stretch, Atkinson set a peek at first, side steps and delivers and misses inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Atkinson twirls the baseball behind his bat before coming set. At the chest, the 2-0. Ground ball up the middle, fielded by Marsh. Underhand flip to Kiefer in time for out number 3. So Cheyenne strands a pair of base runners in their opening half inning of play. And we are scoreless. Heading to the bottom of the first, Hardhats to the bats for the first time here in this one. When we return on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City. Welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail broadcast booth, Sales Service and Recreation. And bottom of inning number one, scoreless after one half inning of play, and the Hardhats coming to bat for the first time. And take a look at their lineup built by Connect Home Center. It's Zeke Farley, the center fielder, to lead things off, followed by the left fielder, Amarian Saylor, who bats second. The designated hitter, Wyatt Anderson, bats third. Harrison Good in the cleanup spot. He's in right field defensively, followed by the catcher, Alex Dietrich, batting fifth. Hayden Hollick, as mentioned in the pre-game show, returns to the lineup and he plays first base, batting sixth. Peyton Tipton at third base, bats seventh. Dylan Marsh, another new name in the lineup. He returns from an injury for the first time as a batter and defensive player. He has pitched this season. He's at second base here today. And Wilson Kiefer, the shortstop, batting ninth for the Hardhats against Bailey Applegarth, the right-hander on the mound for Cheyenne. Defense behind Applegarth, Corey Williams in left field, Julian Romero in center field, and Dominic Lopez in right field. On the infield, Mason Tafoya at the hot corner, Coulter McAnally, the shortstop, Keldon Hastings at second base, and Zach Kostopoulos at first base, with Hayden Swain doing the catching behind the plate. The other half of the battery made with Bailey Applegarth on the mound. Zeke Farley steps in on the right side. A staple in that leadoff spot for the Hardhats. Taps the plate and waves the bat head out in front. Applegarth sets up on the far first base side of the rubber. And into the line, he misses up and away for ball one. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Zeke Farley, a pair of hits against Cheyenne last night, 2 for 3 on his night, a couple of stolen bases as well, as Farley takes a called strike one, outer edge across the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike. Into the wind once again, and the 1-1 from Applegarth to Farley. It's a fastball swung on and missed at the top of the zone. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Farley, Saylor, and Anderson, the 3 scheduled. And the Hardhats first. The 1-2 to Farley. Strike 3 called. Backwards K in the book for out number 1 for the Hardhats. Looked like Farley was expecting the breaking ball on the 1-2 and got a fastball pretty much right down the middle, and it just froze him. No chance to react to that one when you're not expecting it. Here's Amarian Saylor, and he looks at a first pitch called strike on the outer edge, 0-1. Saylor had his on-base streak of 13 games snapped last night, as he looks at a called strike 2 across the knees. Went 0 for 3, 2 flyouts and a backwards K in the book. The 0-2 misses high. Another fastball from Applegarth. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Hardhats told early, Applegarth not afraid to throw the fastball up in the count. Here's the 1-2. Downstairs, another fastball. This one skipped off the back edge of the plate. Even count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Big gap up the middle for Cheyenne defensively, as Applegarth lost his sky blue hat with a red bill on it. Into the wind and the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Saylor goes down swinging for out number 2. Quickly, 2 up, 2 gone. And 2 outs and nobody on for Wyatt Anderson. Cheyenne, contrary of the Hardhats, they love the high short pants, and Anderson bounces one to McAnally at short, fields and fires the first. Just like that, the Hardhats go down in order. 2 strikeouts and a bouncer to short. We head to the second, scoreless after 1. Back in a moment on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City. Welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail Broadcast Booth, Sales Service and Recreation, as we get set for inning number 2. Scoreless after 1 inning of play on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. The Sixers stranded a pair on base, runners on the corners, and were unsuccessful. Here's the left-handed hitting Julian Romero. First pitch, a ground ball right side past the 3-4 gap and into right field. Good thought about and trying to throw out Romero at first, but hangs on to it. It's a leadoff single for Julian Romero, and he continues to stay hot against the Hardhats. Last night, he was the hero. A 2-run triple for Julian Romero in that 4th inning to score both runs and the only runs for either side. He's on base to start the 2nd. Plenty of steep speed there too. Atkinson from the stretch. First pitch to Ethan Reisdorfer. Misses down and away, ball 1. Reisdorfer, the DH, did not play in yesterday's ball game. Back into the starting 9 for this one. Set once again, and Reisdorfer swings through the breaking ball that time. Even count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Reisdorfer followed by Kelton Hastings, the second baseman. And barring a double play ball, Corey Williams would follow. This one chopped right at the plate over by the Hardhats dugout. Ball and 2 strikes the count on Reisdorfer. On the season, Ethan Reisdorfer batting .364. 8 hits and 22 at-bats. The 1-2. Breaking ball just missed inside. And Dietrich couldn't hang on to it as well, so maybe that factored into the called ball decision. Two and 2, Atkinson, Ethan Reisdorfer. And this one's popped up, shallow outfield, a long run for Farley, but it's the shortstop Kiefer who's underneath of it, makes the grab out number 1. Call it a P6 in the book for out number 1. Here's the aforementioned Kelton Hastings. Hastings, the second baseman, as he was last night, went 0 for 3 last night. Bouncer to short, a fly to left, and a strikeout. Bats from the right side here, bent at the knees, and no batting gloves, as Atkinson fires the Hollick to check on Romero. He dives back in safely. 1 out, 1 on. Atkinson stares down Romero before coming set. Side steps, delivers. Romero takes off and pitches outside and low for a ball. Romero dives in safely with a stolen base. Dietrich had to throw from one knee as he had to backhand the ball and then try and make it throw down to second. A little bit to the shortstop side. 1-0 the count on Hastings. And this one's lined past the outstretched glove of Wilson Kiefer into left field. Romero being sent around third, and he will come in to score as Hastings dives into second base. It's 1-0 Cheyenne. Start off this ball game. RBI double for Kelton Hastings. He and Romero swap places, and it's 1-0 Cheyenne. First pitch to Corey Williams. The left-handed bat misses outside, ball 1. It's ruled a single and advancing on a throw. There was no throw to the plate, but advancing nevertheless. Atkinson from the stretch and delivers, and Williams swings through a low pitch. Either way, it's an RBI for Kelton Hastings. Atkinson was set once again. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on, 1 gone. 1-0 Cheyenne. And this one's chopped right side. Hollick underhand flips it to Atkinson, who's covering first, and makes the play for out number 2. Hastings goes to third on the play. Kind of a swinging bunt situation with 1 out, now 2 outs. Top of the Sixers lineup now in Mason Tafoya. Second run of this ball game, standing 90 feet away. First pitch to Tafoya is popped up, foul out of play right over my head. 0-1 the count. Tafoya bounced to Kiefer at short his first trip. A nice play by Wilson. Atkinson twirls the baseball behind his back and now comes set. The 0-1. Bouncer left side, this one to Tipton at third. On a high hop, he fires the first in time, out number 3. But Cheyenne is on the board first. It's 1-0, post 6, as we head to the bottom of the second. Back in a moment, right here on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City. Welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail broadcast booth, Sales Service and Recreation. Bottom of inning number 2, just bounced out for the Hardhats to have their second cracks at Bailey Applegarth after going down in order in their half of the first. It's 1-0 Cheyenne on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. And first pitch, bunt and squared around by Harrison Good, and Applegarth fires to first and beat him by a step. So Applegarth throws out Good. So 1 up, 1 gone. Here's Alex Dietrich, the catcher. Applegarth into the line. First pitch to Dietrich misses high, ball 1. See lots of fastballs from Bailey Applegarth. The Hardhats, traditionally a fastball hitting team. As Dietrich kind of jam shots this up the first base line as Kostopoulos takes it to the first base bag himself for out number 2. High fastball kind of jammed him and kept it fair. So quickly 2 up, 2 gone, and now Hayden Hollick. Hollick bats from the right side. And this, his first game, as he looks at strike 1, his first game since, well, I believe since He didn't play in Gillette, so maybe first game since before Watertown. Swings through the high fastball there, down in the count 0-2. I'd say first game since playing over in Billings. Now balls and 2 strikes. Abelgarth to Hollick, and he misses high and tight, ball 1. Two outs and nobody on for the Hardhats. Still looking for their opening base runner. The 1-2 fouled away, a high fastball. Hollick caught up with it. To stay alive, 1-2. There is a pretty heavy breeze blowing here in Rapid City. It's blowing almost straight in, according to the left center field flags. This one bounced on right side to the second baseman, Hastings. He fields and fires the first in time. 4-3 in the book, and 3 up, 3 down go the Hardhats, just as they did in the first. So 1-0 post 6 after 2. Back in a moment for inning number 3, right after this on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City. Welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail Broadcast Booth, Sales Service and Recreation. Set for inning number 3, Brian Atkinson back to the bump for post 22. He faces the top. Actually, Coulter McAnally, guys went into right field. Harrison Good slides and makes the grab in right field. A little bit of a misread by Harrison, but he makes the grab for out number 2. Or out number 1, rather, here in the third. And McAnally has only seen 2 pitches against Brian Atkinson here today. Now Zach Kostopoulos. A single is on first trip, and he looks at a called strike 1 from Atkinson. Into the wind, and the 1-strike pitch from Atkinson. A line drive, base hit, hooking into the left field corner, past the diving Peyton Tipton, and it rolls all the way into that corner. Amarian Saylor runs over to try and corral it, but Kostopoulos is in with a stand-up 1-out double. Boy, that's the straight definition of turn and burn. Kostopoulos just hooking it right past the third base bag fair, and then all the way foul as it rolled up against the fence down there, protecting the bullpen area. So a runner on second, 1 gone, 1-0 Cheyenne, and here's Dominic Lopez, a single his first trip. And this one, a ground ball to Tipton at third. He steers down Kostopoulos, fires across the diamond in time for out number 2. Good play by Tipton with plenty of time to make sure Kostopoulos was going nowhere. Now Hayden Swain. Bouncer up the middle. and resulted in out number 3, his first trip. Atkinson from the stretch, runner on second, 2 gone. Wood takes back to second, sidesteps and deals, and Swain looks at ball 1 a touch outside. Hayden Swain was the designated hitter last night, had a double in 3 at-bats, scored 1 of the Cheyenne runs. The 1-0, flying ball, shallow left field, long run for everyone, but it's a shortstop Wilson Kiefer to call everyone off and make the grab for out number 3. So 1 out double is stranded by Cheyenne, and we head to the bottom of inning number 3 with the Hardhats trailing 1-0. You're listening to Post 22 Hardhats Baseball on Hardhats TV and 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City. Welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail Broadcast Booth, Sales, Service, and Recreation. Adam Birch bringing you Post 22 Hardhats Baseball on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City, and the Hardhats trailing 1-0 on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick, to the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers as we head to the bottom of inning number 3. Applegarth into the line, and on first pitch called strike 1 on Peyton Tipton. Go down in the count 0-1. Tipton, Dylan Marsh, and Wilson Kiefer, the bottom 3 of the Hardhats lineup, still looking for their opening base runner as Tipton chops one foul off the netting above the Hardhats dugout. And down in the count he goes, no balls and 2 strikes. Applegarth, the deep breath into the wind, kicks and deals the 0-2, swing and a miss, and down goes Peyton Tipton, swinging for out number 1. Third strikeout of the ball game for Bailey Applegarth. And here's Dylan Marsh. First at-bat of the season for Dylan Marsh, and it's nice to see him back in the lineup. First pitch to Marsh, a called strike 1 right across the belt, and fastball from Applegarth. And Marsh talked about it a little bit when he was on the mound for the first time in his start against Watertown, but just a very unlucky injury right as the offseason ended. As Marsh looks at a called strike 2, lower outside edge, no balls and 2 strikes to count. Took a foul tip off the wrist as he was catching a bullpen session. And Marsh takes one off the hand area once again, and it looks to be okay. He's going to have to walk it off. And didn't grimace much at the plate, taking that pitch off that hand area. Not sure which hand it hit him. It was his right wrist that he had surgery on. Was rehabbing his way back to playing condition. before getting the green light to go last weekend against Watertown. So Marsh will stay in this ball game. He looks to be all right. Just kind of shakes off that right hand. It might be that same wrist area where he was hit. First pitch to Wilson Kiefer, a fly ball right at the left fielder, Corey Williams. He almost overran it, but it bounces in front of him and takes a high hop. So quickly, the Hardhats have 2 on and 1 out after the hit by pitch and the single. Marsh to second, Kiefer aboard first, and here's the top of the lineup for the Hardhats. And Zeke Farley. The right men coming to the plate for the Hardhats. Farley, Saylor, Anderson, good. And 1 out to deal with as Farley looks at a called strike across the knees, 0-1. Hardhats trailing 1-0 to Cheyenne. Threatening here with the tying and go-ahead runners on base with 1 out. And Farley looks at a called strike, 2 inside edge this time. Farley was almost halfway out of the batter's box when that ball ended. Shorterwood stands now with the 2 strikes. Applegarth, a peek at second, sidesteps and delivers, and the fastball misses high. 1 ball and 2 strikes are count. And time is asked for by the catcher, Swain, as McAnally and Applegarth and Swain all have a meeting. Make sure they know what's going on. Marsh likes to dance around second base. I wouldn't be surprised if McAnally was making sure to keep an eye on him. Gestapo is playing in front of the base runner at first. McAnally holding on Marsh at second. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, and down goes Farley swinging. 2 strikeouts next to his name here today. Not said that often for Zeke this season. Tried to sit back on a breaking ball that time and sat back a little too much. Another mound visit, this time just Applegarth and Swain with the 2 outs and the 2 runners on. Still 1-0 our score here in the bottom of the 3rd. And remember, the key to this ball game, execution with runners in scoring position. See if the Hardhats can execute right here. Difficult task with the 2 outs, but Amarian Saylor at the plate, and the first pitch misses high right above the letters, reading Rapid City across the chest of Amarian Saylor. 1 ball, no strikes to count. And time asked for by Saylor at the plate. Applegarth and looks into Swain, comes set at the belt, takes a peek at Marsh, sidesteps and delivers, and this one bounces way in front of the plate. The throw down to second, and Marsh is gunned down. Swain caught Marsh way off the second base bag, and that's out number 3. So a base running mistake ends the threat for the Hardhats, and they trail 1-0 heading to inning number 4. Back in a moment, right here on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City. To the fourth we go as we welcome you back into the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail broadcast booth, sales service and recreation. 1-0 Cheyenne heading to the top of the fourth. Brian Atkinson back to the hill, and the ever dangerous hard hat killer Julian Romero at the plate, batting from the left side. Atkinson over the head into the wind, and the first pitch, a line drive looping down the left field line. That's a fair ball hooking into the corner. And Julian Romero is up to second with a stand-up leadoff double. And he continues to hit the ball well. Boy, Julian Romero out of the 6th spot in the lineup here today. He hit 7th last night. And production, no matter where you hit in the lineup, is crucial. Here's Ethan Reisdorfer, popped out to Kiefer at short, his first trip. Runner on second, nobody out, 1-0 Cheyenne. Atkinson delivers, and the first pitch, a breaking ball, line foul. And Coach Lane had to bend out of the way of that one to avoid taking a foul ball off the face and making sure Reisdorfer knows to hit the ball the other way. Atkinson set once again at the chest. Decent lead for Romero at second, the 0-1. Breaking ball down and away, snagged by Dietrich behind the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Reisdorfer bats from the right side. White batting gloves to go along with his silver bat. The 1-1, down and away, ball 2. So 2 balls and a strike, Atkinson to Reisdorfer. Wind continuing to blow straight in. It hasn't hurt Cheyenne so far. Basically the wind to everyone's back except for Alex Dietrich, the catcher, and the batter. This one, ground ball, base hit into right field. Romero being held up at third as a strong throw comes in from Harrison Good. It was a bit wild up the first base line, but Romero held either way. And on the throw, Reisdorfer goes to second base. So it's a single after the double, but runners on second and third thanks to the throw. Here's Keldon Hastings. Hastings with a single his first trip. Nobody out, 1-0 Cheyenne, threatening here in the fourth. First pitch to Hastings, it runs inside and hits him right above the belt on the backside. So Hastings on after the hit batter. And Alex Dietrich out to the mound to try and settle down Atkinson. Actually surprised to see Coach Clapperidge not come out to have a word with Atkinson as well. But Dietrich and Atkinson tap their gloves together and dial in for the next batter. It's Corey Williams, left-handed bat. Straight up defense for the Hardhats. And Atkinson misses up and away, ball 1. Williams bounced to the right side. Hollick to Atkinson, 3-1. The 1-0. Outside by a touch. 2 balls and no strikes to count. 1 run, 6 hits, no errors for Cheyenne. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 error for the Hardhats. The 2-0. Line drive, base hit into center field. That'll score at least 2. Here comes both runners to the plate. It's a 2-run single for Corey Williams right back up the middle. And just like that, it's 3-0 Cheyenne. Romero and Reisdorfer score on the play. Hastings was held up at second, even with the bobble in center by Farley. Top of the lineup now for Cheyenne in Mason Tafoya. First pitch, a strike called right below the letters, 0-1. Tafoya 0 for 2, a pair of ground outs to the left side, 1 to short, 1 to third. And quickly, our reliever sent down to the bullpen for the Hardhats. Did not get a license plate on him. This one popped foul out of play. No balls and 2 strikes to count. And Atkinson approaching 50 pitches already. This will be pitch number 48. Bouncer left side, foul. Past Coach Lane. See if we can figure out who is going down to the bullpen. Well, if it's a left-hander, it's Lee Negebauer. If it's a right-hander, it might be Palmer Jacobs. The 0-2, snagged by Dietrich, and now both runners caught in no man's land. A throw down to third, and the throw is offline, and up to third goes Hastings. Boy, the Hardhats had the runners in a situation where you just run the Hastings back to second because Williams was already standing there. 2 men can't occupy a base. But another mistake ends up with the runners at second and third. Pretty mistake-free game last night. And won't be an error in the book, as this one's a fly ball to left center field. Zeke Farley went out, now comes straight in with the wind. The throw comes in with the tag, and Hastings scores from third. It's 4-0 Cheyenne after the sacrifice fly from Mason Tafoya. And how big is that ball in the turf that ended up with both runners advancing? That was just out number 1. Runner at third, 1 gone. And now Coulter McAnally. He's 0 for 2, has only seen 2 pitches and 2 at-bats. First pitch, runs inside. You'll see at least a fourth. Breaking ball on the first pitch from Atkinson to McAnally. And it looks to be the right-hander down there, and so potentially Palmer Jacobs. 1-0 snagged by Dietrich on the backhand. Down and away, 2 balls and no strikes. Atkinson looks in to Dietrich. Set once again, and the 2-0. Down and away, 3 balls and no strikes. First base is open. But Zach Kostopoulos is on deck. He's 2 for 2, a single and a double. Not sure many times you'd say you'd rather face McAnally, but Zach Kostopoulos has seen the ball well on the hand of Brian Atkinson. The 3-0. Down and away, ball 4. A 4-pitch walk drawn by McAnally. Puts runners on first and second for the aforementioned Zach Kostopoulos, and here comes Coach Klaprich out of the dugout for the Hardhats. And Tipton, Marsh, and Hollick, along with Kiefer now, all join Coach Klaprich on the mound. Taps of the gloves around Ryan Atkinson. Know the situation. A base is open. 1 out. Kostopoulos at the plate. He's 2 for 2. Atkinson's set. And the first pitch to Kostopoulos is a line drive foul. Hooking over by the bullpen area. No balls and a strike, the count on Kostopoulos. The 0-1. Down and away. Nope, called a strike. The breaking ball caught the lower outside corner. So no balls and 2 strikes on Kostopoulos with 1 out and runners on first and second. 4-0 Cheyenne. The 0-2. Fly ball center field. Zeke Farley a few steps out in the wind, pushing it in. Harrison Good calls him off and makes a grab. A strong throw to the cutoff man, Kiefer, and just about getting Williams caught in between second and third. Bluffing a tag. But it's a fly out for Kostopoulos to right for out number 2. Here's Dominic Lopez. This is the 8th man sent to the plate this inning. 3 runs coming across already. 2 on, 2 outs. First pitch to Lopez. Called a strike on the fastball inner edge. 0-1. Atkinson looking to dig deep, approaching 60 pitches now. Lopez 1 for 2, a single and a bouncer to third. The 0-1. Breaking ball called strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes on Dominic Lopez. Where does Atkinson go on the 0-2? Dietrich sets up down and away. The 2-strike pitch down and away, and it goes back to the backstop. Up to third and second, the base runners go. So Williams to third, McAnally to second. That's where Dietrich was set up, but Atkinson fired the fastball just way too far down and away. And Dietrich couldn't handle it. A ball and 2 strikes, the count, 2 gone. Here it is Lopez, and is a slow chopper up the middle. On the run, Wilson Kiefer fires a low throw to Hollick, but it's in time for out number 3. 3 runs come across for Cheyenne. They take a 4-0 lead heading into the bottom of the 4th. Back in a moment on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City. Welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail broadcast booth, Sales, Service, and Recreation. Bottom of inning number 4, and the Hardhats trailing 4-0 as we head to that bottom of the 4th inning. 1 run in the 2nd for Cheyenne, and 3 more runs in the top half of this 4th inning. The Hardhats stranded a couple base runners, actually just 1 base runner last inning. The 3rd out came as a result of a caught-stealing kind of pickoff play. Applegarth into the wind, and he misses down away for ball 1 on Amarian Saylor, who was at the plate when that base running mistake happened. So he steps back in for his 2nd official at-bat of the ball game. 2 balls and no strikes as Applegarth misses with a fastball low. Into the wind and the 2-0. High, ball 3 with the fastball. And Saylor up in the count, 3 balls and no strikes. The wind and the 3-0. Strike call right across the belt, 3 balls and 1 strike. Fastball that time. The 3-1, fly ball right center field, shallow right center field. Dominic Lopez on the run, he dives, he can't make the play. And Amarian Saylor will be content with a single. And look close, like a Saylor might not have touched the first base bag, so it might have been a good decision to stay put at first. So Saylor on with a leadoff single. He's 1 for 2. And back into the hit column. Slight delay here as looks like we'll have a pinch runner. And Jed Jensen will pinch run for Amarian Saylor.
This is your runner, number 18, Jed Jensen.
Coach Torvey having a word with Amarian up the 3rd baseline. Jed Jensen a decent lead at first. The first pitch to Wyatt Anderson is fouled away behind the plate, 0-1. Anderson 0 for 1. Bouncer to short his first time, an easy play for McAnally. 1 on, nobody out. Applegarth from the stretch. Kicks and deals and misses downstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike. Anderson coming into this weekend was on a 7-game hit streak and had that snapped last night. Where's the bunt, pulls back, and it's a called strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Anderson ready once again, bouncing the bat off his right shoulder. The 1-2. Ducks out of the way of that one. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Someone yelling, "Wear it" out of the Hardhats dugout, and Anderson, I'm sure, does not want to wear any more of those off the face. The 2-2, swing and a miss, and Anderson goes down swinging out number 1. 4th strikeout, and actually make it the 5th strikeout for Bailey Applegarth of Cheyenne. Runner on first, 1 out. And now Harrison good. 0 for 1 day for Harrison. Bounced back to the pitcher, tried to lay down a bunt. This one a fly ball left center field. Corey Williams and Romero is underneath of it. Romero making the grab out number 2. Here's Alex Dietrich now. Still a man at first base after the leadoff single. First pitch to Dietrich. Down and away, ball 1. Tap to the plate on the right side. Dietrich kinda got jammed and somehow kept it fair up the first base line his first at bat. Swings through, actually foul tipped a ball behind the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Jensen at first, 2 gone. 4-0 Cheyenne, bottom of inning number 4. First of a 2-game doubleheader on this Sunday, and Dietrich looks at a called strike 2 at the knees, inside edge. Applegard sent once again for the 1-2. Here it is. Chopper right in front of the plate. Dietrich will have to be on his horse. Swain fields and fires in time, out number 3. Hayden Swain and Applegarth communicating there. Swain just let it die on the turf before picking it up and makes the play 2-3 for out number 3. We head to the 5th after this on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City. Welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail broadcast booth, Sales Service and Recreation. As we get set for inning number 5, a new arm on the mound for the Hardhats in relief of Brian Atkinson. It's Jude Sears, the right-hander for the Hardhats. On the season so far for Jude, 4 innings. This is his 4th appearance. He has 1 save and 1 opportunity. 3 hits, 4 runs, only 2 earned, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts, a .350 ERA for Jude. In relief of Brian Atkinson, Brian went 4 innings, allowed 7 hits, 4 runs, all earned. 1 walk, no strikeouts for Brian. So Sears to the mound. And he will face 5, 6, and 7 of the Sixers lineup in Swain, Romero, and Reisdorfer. Sears works solely out on the stretch, kicks and deals and misses down and away, ball 1. Lost his hard hat after the first pitch. Well, he flares his hair and puts it back on his head. The 1-0 called a strike right across the belt. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jude Sears last pitched against Watertown. Just went 1 inning in that appearance back on the 15th. And recorded the save. Hits the zone there for a called strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. No hits, no runs. 1 strikeout in that appearance against Watertown for Jude. The 1-2. Breaking ball called strike 3. It froze Hayden Swain. And a backwards K starts Jude Sears' day.
Number 8, Julian Romero.
Out number 1. That's the first strikeout of the ball game for Hardhats pitching. Here's Julian Romero. And he's obviously disappointed to see a new arm on the mound as he bats from the left side and looks at a called strike 1 from Sears. 2 for 2 against Brian Atkinson, a double and a single, scored both times he's been on base. The 1-0 misses downstairs. Nope, it's called a strike at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes to count. Sears with a decent breaking ball. Would not be surprised to see it once again on the 0-2. Here it is, and it misses high. A fastball from Sears. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. The 1-2. Breaking ball misses high. Even count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sears twirls the baseball behind his back, sets up on the far first base side of the rubber. The 2-2. Lifted it down the left field line. Long run for Jed Jensen. He won't get there. That's a fair ball as it rolls up against the fence. And Julian Romero will have another double as that one was fair by just about a foot. Romero is 3 for 3 in this ball game. That double comes with 1 out. And the Sixers leading 4-0 on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agent Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. Here's Ethan Reisdorfer. A single his last time up. He scored a run. Popped out to short his last trip. All right, his trip before that. Romero at second, 1 gone. Sears from the stretch, set at the chest. Double takes to second and just steps off and looks Romero back. And a game set quickly, and Reisdorfer asked for time. So still awaiting the first pitch. Sears to Reisdorfer. Here it is, and it misses downstairs, ball 1. One ball, no strikes to count on Reisdorfer. 1 for 2 day. Sears double takes a second, and 3 times he looks back there before firing, and it misses low. Hit between the wickets of Dietrich. But it stayed right there as it hit the legs of our umpire. So 2 balls and no strikes to count. Here's the 2-0. Fouled back to the screen. 2 balls and 1 strike. Kelton Hastings on deck. He's been on base twice. The 2-1. He bends out of the way of that one. Now 3 balls and a strike to count. The Sixers today, their high stirrup socks are baby blue with several stripes at the top in red, white, and baby blue. Breaking ball, called strike 2. So Sears throws the breaking ball and gets the call on the 3-1. Not expecting that. Reisdorfer. Payoff pitch now. Sears to Reisdorfer. Romero dancing around at second, and Reisdorfer fouls away the payoff. Out of play. Other payoff. Jude Sears to Ethan Reisdorfer. Up over 50 degrees now at 52. Reisdorfer lines this one, hooking in the left field corner. That's down for a base hit, and it's cut off by Jensen. Reisdorfer heads for second. He will reach. It's an RBI double for Ethan Reisdorfer. He and Romero swap places, with Romero in motion on the pitch. He scores easily. And it's 5-0 Cheyenne. That one a straight double for Reisdorfer. Got credited with a single and an advancing to second on the throw. His first hit. First pitch, Sears to Hastings. He ducks out of the way of it for ball one. Hastings was hit by a pitch his last at-bat. Scored a run. An RBI single before that back in the second. The 1-0, downstairs, scooped by Dietrich. Now Hardhats will send another arm down to the bullpen. The 2-0 misses high, right above the letters across the chest. And now 3 balls and no strikes to count. Sears set. A look at second. He kicks and deals a 3-0. Called a strike right across the belt, down the middle. Get me over fastball, 3-1. Set once again in the 3-1. A fly ball right side. This one out of play. 3-2. Tap of the plate on the right side for Hastings. Sears shakes off a couple of signs from Dietrich. Now comes set. The payoff. And it's a called strike 3. Froze him with the breaking ball. Backwards K in the book. Next to Kelton Hastings' name. He's out off the base paths for the first time today. And now Corey Williams. 2 outs, a man on second. 5-0 Cheyenne. Both the outs, backwards K's in the book, as that one misses down and away. Left-handed hitting Williams. A 2-run single his last trip. Before that, he bounced to the right side, underhand flip by Hollick to Atkinson. The 1-0. Strike 1 called on the upper outside edge. 1 ball, 1 strike. It might be Colby Danke warming in the bullpen for the Hardhats. The 1-1 misses high to throw down a second, and a nice snag by Kiefer as it bounced in the throw from Dietrich. Two balls and a strike to count on Williams. Tap to the plate and a shin guard on his right front foot. 2-1, fouled away, out of play. Over next to the Catch-22 store. Count moves to 2-2. Runner on second, 2 gone. The 2-2 misses downstairs, blocked by Dietrich on a ball that bounced in front of the plate. 3-2, Jude Sears to Corey Williams. Rests the bat on his left shoulder. Pops it up. Here's the 3-2. Fastball, strike three, called outer edge. 3 backwards Ks in the book for Jude Sears. The 3 outs in his lone inning of work so far in the 5th. But Cheyenne strikes with back-to-back doubles and have 1 run come across. It's 5-0 Cheyenne heading to the bottom of the 5th. Hayden Hollick, Peyton Tipton, and Dylan Marsh to hit for the Hardhats when we return on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City. Welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail Broadcast Booth, Sales Service and Recreation. Bottom of inning number 5, 5-0 our score. And the Hardhats are trailing in this one to Cheyenne. The Hardhats send 6, 7, and 8 to the plate. That's Hayden Hollick, Peyton Tipton, and Dylan Marsh. And those 3 are 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch. Looks to be a new arm on the mound for Cheyenne. Read a license plate on him. It's Trenton Rodriguez. A super senior returner from Mount Marty. Another returner that plays down in Yankton, South Dakota. And we saw his Mount Marty teammate Ben Bowman yesterday in his start. Nice performance by him. Now the Hardhats see Trenton Rodriguez. First pitch to Hollick, foul tipped in the glove, 0-1. So Applegarth goes 4 strong innings, gives way to Rodriguez here in the 5th. As Hollick watches ball 1 miss high, and it went straight off the mask of our umpire. And we got crossed up of signs as Hayden Swain and Coach Lane walk out to have a conversation with Applegarth. Home plate umpire laughing about it as the signs got crossed, most likely. Usually at this level, you do not see a straight fastball, breaking ball, whatever it was, go right above the catcher's mitt and hit the umpire right square in the mask. That's why umpires wear masks as well. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. And unfortunately for the Hardhats, that does not result in a free ball. Nevertheless, 2 balls and a strike now as Rodriguez misses low. The line kick deal and the 2-1 swung on and missed. Elevated fastball that time to Hollick. He went after it. Elevated fastball, very difficult to lay off of. The 2-2 to Hollick. Swing and a miss, and Hollick goes down swinging out number 1. Now Peyton Tipton. A strikeout against Applegarth in his lone at-bat. Facing a new arm here in the bottom of the 5th, trailing 5-0. Just 2 hits for the Hardhats in this ball game. And Tipton, a high fly ball left field, up against the warning track, and the left fielder cannot corral it. It's a home run for Peyton Tipton. Boy, the left fielder, Corey Williams, give him a Grammy on that one for selling that ball, but Peyton Tipton flies it out of here with a solo shot. And the Hardhats are on the board. It's 5-1. Now Dylan Marsh, 5-1 our score, bottom of the 5th. 1 out, nobody on. Rodriguez winds, kicks, deals, and Marsh takes ball 1, a fastball high and tight. Marsh wore pitch off his front hand, his first pitch, and he looks at a called strike 1 across the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Marsh half swung, but he went around. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. 3rd home run overall for the Hardhats this season via the Peyton Tipton solo shot. 2nd to leave the yard. And Marsh, chopper right back to Rodriguez on the mound. He flips to first in time, out number 2. Now Wilson Kiefer. 2 outs, nobody on, 5-1 our score. Rodriguez coming into play. 2 innings over 2 appearances. He did make 1 start as well. 5 hits, 6 runs, no earned runs though. That was his first earned run allowed. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. As Kiefer looks at a called strike 1. Right at the knees. Kiefer singled his first trip. The 0-1, he scores the bunt, drops it down up the 3rd baseline. It'll be a tough play for Tafoya, and Kiefer beats it out. An infield bunt single for Wilson Kiefer. Got everyone sleeping. And Kiefer is 2 for 2. Here's Zeke Farley. 2 outs, a runner at first. 5-1, still our score in favor of Cheyenne on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. Farley 0 for 2, a pair of strikeouts, both against Bailey Applegarth. Facing Rodriguez for the first time in a first pitch breaking ball, swung on and missed 0-1. Rodriguez from the stretch on the far 3rd base side of the rubber. Farley flares this one down the right field line. It'll end up in the Cheyenne bullpen. And quickly down the count, no balls and 2 strikes, Zeke Farley. Reminder, folks, Game 2 coming up about 30 minutes after the conclusion of this one. The 0-2, fouled straight back, out of play. Off the indoor facility. Still 2 strikes on Zeke Farley. Rodriguez looks into Swain, likes the sign as Swain sets up down and away. Long pause, a runner takes off for second. The pitch is outside for a ball. Kiefer slides in feet first with a stolen base. So Kiefer in the scoring position now. And that's his 4th stolen base in 6 attempts now. The 1-2. Strike 3 called at the top of the zone, and Farley strikes out for the third time, second in the looking variety, and that's out number 3. So the Hardhats get on the board, a solo shot by Peyton Tipton over the left field wall. And it's 5-1 Cheyenne as we head to the 6th. Back in a moment on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City. Welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail broadcast booth. Sales, service, and recreation. Top of inning number 6. And 5-1 our score in favor of Cheyenne. It is Colby Denke on the mound for the Hardhats, sporting number 24, the right-hander out of the bullpen in relief of Brian Atkinson and Jude Sears. He faces the top of the Sixers lineup here in the 6th. And Mason Tafoya, Coulter McAnally, and Zach Kostopoulos. Denke sets up on the far third base side, so solely on the stretch, and he misses outside ball 1 with a fastball. Denke way outside that time. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Denke from the stretch, the 2-0 misses high. 3 balls and no strikes now. Leadoff man here in the top of the 6th. Denke, his left front foot slightly and towards the third base side more than his back foot, and he misses down and away, ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk to start off the 6th. Tafoya on base for the first time here in game 1. And now Coulter McAnally, the shortstop. He walked his last trip. Outside of that, he's 0 for 2. And so McAnally looks at a called strike 1 for a strike called with Denke on the mound. McAnally, a bouncer, actually a pop out to third and a fly to right. 0-1, called strike 2 right above the belt. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes to count. Tap to the plate on the right side. And Denke looking to settle in. Tafoya with a decent lead at first, dancing around at first, and a check on the runner, and it misses low. Hollick can't handle it. It rolls all the way up the first baseline, and Tafoya up to second now. Exactly what Tafoya was trying to do, play a little mind games and get Denke to throw over. He did just that. And the throw is low. It'll be an error on the pitcher. The 0-2 to McAnally. High fly ball, right center field. On the run, Harrison Good. He's underneath of it, makes the catch. And Tafoya tags and moves to third base. Just about over and dove the bag at third. Cheyenne does know what turf is like. They have an infield turf field at Powers Field. But Tafoya on his horse, diving in safely. So McAnally just an F9. He's 0 for 3 now. That's out number 1 as Kostopoulos looks at ball 1 low. Zach Kostopoulos 2 for 3 on the ball game. A single, a double, and a fly to right. 1-0 misses. Nope, it's called a strike at the bottom of the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. The 1-1. Ground ball off and bobbled by Tipton. He fires to first in timeout number 2. The ground ball results in a run, and that's the 6th run to come across for Cheyenne, as Tafoya was off on contact. Very hard hit ball to Tipton. Score at 5-3 and an RBI. Here's Dominic Lopez. And Lopez looks at ball 1 up and away. That was the only play for Tipton at third. He bobbled it slightly as it rolled up his arm, but hung on to it and made a strong throw across. This one between the wickets of Dietrich actually hit behind him and hit our home plate umpire off his shin guards. And Dietrich walks out to chat with Denke and make sure our home plate umpire's all right. 2 balls and no strikes to count on Dominic Lopez. 1 for 3 ball game for Lopez. The 2-0 misses down and away, 3-0. Lopez a single way back in the first. And then 2 bouncers to the left side, 1 to third, 1 to short. 3-0 misses high and tight, ball 4. So a 2-out walk. Now Hayden Swain. Swain 0 for 3. A strikeout his last trip. Fly to short and bounced into a fielder's choice. Denke looks in, nod of the head from Dietrich. And the first pitch, strike called right above the knees, 0-1. Hardhats down to their final 6 outs offensively in this ball game. They have 2, 3, and 4 due up as Swain swings through a breaking ball. Down in the count, he goes 0-2 now. Denke kicks and deals, and the 0-2 swung on and missed. The fastball powered right by him, and Swain goes down swinging out number 3. Cheyenne on the board once again. RBI ground out for Zach Kostopoulos, and it's 6-1 post 6 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Back in a moment with the Hardhats, the bats once again right after this on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City. Welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail Broadcast Booth, Sales, Service, and Recreation. Bottom of inning number 6. Jed Jensen, Wyatt Anderson, and Harrison Good to bat for the Hardhats against Trenton Rodriguez. Trailing 6-1. Rodriguez winds, kicks, deals, and the first pitch foul tipped in a glove of Hayden Swain, 0-1. Jensen, this is his first at-bat of the ball game, first at-bat of the weekend. Came on as a pinch runner in place of Amarian Saylor. And he looks at a breaking ball called strike 2, outer edge. No balls and 2 strikes. And Jensen on the season, 6 hits and 35 at-bats. 5 singles and a double as Jensen looks at ball 1 outside. One ball, 2 strikes to count. Rodriguez misses in front of the plate. Lead off by Jensen, 2-2. Hardhats looking for some production. Down to the final 6 outs of this ball game. With game 2 coming up after game 1. The 2-2 misses downstairs off the plate, blocked by Swain, and now 3-2 after Jensen was down in the count 0-2. Rodriguez back to the rubber once again. Winds, kicks, steals. Here's the payoff. Chopper foul behind the plate. Jensen stays alive. Jensen, a great athlete. A quarterback for Rapid City Stevens. Payoff once again, and he just got a piece of it. And might have caught Hayden Swain a little funky off of his glove hand. Squeezing his glove hand, putting on the put once again. And he gives a thumbs up to the dugout. Payoff once again to Jensen, and he misses high, ball 4. Leadoff base runner for the Hardhats. That's exactly what the Hardhats need for a little bit of a rally. Here's Wyatt Anderson. Anderson 0 for 2, a strikeout and a bouncer to short. Those were both against Bailey Applegarth, facing Rodriguez for the first time. First pitch to Anderson, checked his swing. The pitch misses high for ball 1. No appeal on that. And Anderson held up from my vantage point. And strike 1, caught on the outer edge. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rodriguez adjusts his hat. Likes a sign from Swain. And the 1-1. Misses high, 2 balls and a strike. Now typically the catcher flashes the signs with his right hand low. Flashes some signs and then taps across the chest. Some more signs. And Jensen dives back in safely on a pickoff attempt. Swain still shaking off that glove hand. 2-1, a high fly ball, left center field. That one has a chance. And up, a diving stop. Nope, it gets on past him. The center fielder, Julian Romero, can't make the play. Jensen to second. He had to hold on as it was a nice backup on the play for Corey Williams. And a good effort by Julian Romero in center. We've seen him make a couple of those plays in left center field alley before. And the wind not helping Anderson at all that time, with the wind blowing about straight in, now a little bit more right to left. Either way, it's 2 on, nobody out for the Hardhats. Trailing 6-1. Harrison good at the plate. First pitch to good. And we'll have to wait as Rodriguez looks back. Jensen. Plenty of speed in Jed Jensen. Would guess he would score with a ball to the outfield. This one skips past Hayden Swain and back to the backstop. And now both runners in scoring position. Jensen to third, Anderson to second. Still nobody out. The Hardhats looking to get on the board for the second time in this ball game and the second time this weekend. Good up in the count, 1 ball, no strikes. The 1-0, foul tipped in the glove, 1 ball and 1 strike. Harrison good, a fly to center field his last trip. He bounced back to the pitcher in a bunt attempt. They dropped down trying for a single in his first at bat. 0 for 2 day. The 1-1. Inside, 2 balls and a strike. Once again, Rodriguez adjusting the hat up above his head. Comes set the 2-1, and good. Thought about it, it's a called strike. Top of the zone, laid off. It's a called strike too, so an even count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Alex Dietrich on deck. Rodriguez kicks and deals the 2-2. Chopper up the third baseline, foul. And Coach Torvey, the underhand flip into the dugout. It stays alive at least for 1 more pitch. Rodriguez up over 30 pitches. This will be pitch number 35. Here it is, the 2-2. Chopper, left side, infield was playing in. Tafoya bobbles it and he can't make the play. Everyone's safe. Jensen scores, it'll be scored. And E5. But it's 6-2 now in favor of Cheyenne. And runners on first and second. Anderson had to hold up at second base. Here's Alex Dietrich. And Dietrich fouls away the first pitch off the screen. 0-1. The 0-1 from Rodriguez. And it's a called strike, inside edge, right at the knees. 0-2 on Dietrich. He's 0 for 2 on the day. A couple of weak contact at-bats. A bouncer to first. A bouncer in front of the catcher, in which Swain threw him out. The 0-2. Bouncer right back up the middle. Second baseman underhand flips it for 1 over to first in time. It's a 4-6-3 double play with Anderson moving to third. So Good is out at second, and Dietrich out at first. Good relay. Hastings to McAnally over to Kostopoulos. Here's Hayden Hollick. Runner on third is Anderson. 2 outs. Hollick fouls away the first pitch off the netting behind the plate. 0-1. Hollick 0 for 2, a strikeout in his last at-bat, a bouncer to second is first. The 0-1, line drive, foul, right side out of play. No balls and 2 strikes now on Hayden. Shorterwood stands with the 2 strikes, as many Hardhats batters do. Swain sets up down and away. Here's the 2-strike pitch. And he hits the spot down and away. Called strike 3, a backwards K in the book, and that's out number 3. The Hardhats are on the board once again, and they score 1 run. It's 6-2. We head to the 7th after this on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City.
We are your community. We are your neighbors. Our family of doctors are invested in our community. At Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, we are honored to help you along the journey from injury to recovery. You have a choice with Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you.
Welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail Broadcast Booth, Sales, Service, and Recreation. We're set for inning number 7. 6-2 our score in favor of Cheyenne on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agent Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. And Julian Romero leads things off. He's already 3 for 3, a pair of doubles and a single. And the first pitch from Colby Denke misses down and away, ball 1. Another reliever warming in the bullpen for the Hardhats. It's a right-hander. The 1-0 skips off the plate, snagged by Dietrich. Kind of an old school splitter. 2 balls and no strikes. Denke set and the 2-0. Strike caught on the outside edge to the left-handed bat. 2 balls and 1 strike. Two 1 misses high. 3-1. Denke in jeopardy of walking the leadoff man once again. And he does. He misses up and away, ball 4. So Romero on base for the 4th time today. He remains 3 for 3. The speed of Romero, the center fielder, on base. 6-2 our score. And the new batter, Ethan Reisdorfer. Runner stays put, and it's a balk called on Denke. Denke asking our field umpire exactly what he did. My nose was down in my book, so I did not see what he did. Either way, a man in scoring position with nobody out. First pitch to Reisdorfer. Strikeout on the inside edge, 0-1. That'll happen with the young arms. Box called at this level. Didn't see too many last season, but more experienced club last year, and definitely less experienced on the mound this year. The 1-0, down and away, down and in rather, on Reisdorfer. 2 balls, 1 ball and 1 strike. Reisdorfer 2 for 3, popped out to short, a single and an RBI double. He scored 1 run as well. The 1-1, and it runs inside and hit him. Reisdorfer didn't want to take the hit by pitch. He was ready to continue his at-bat, but he trots his way down to first. So a walk and a hit batter. 2 base runners here. And that brings up Kelton Hastings. Oh, it's Ben Bowman. It's gonna grab a bat and hit. First pitch runs inside for ball 1. So Bowman hits in place of Kelton Hastings, who was 1 for 2. Was hit by a pitch, an RBI single, and also struck out. Bowman goes around, runner takes off, and dives into third. Up to second goes Reisdorfer, so second and third, nobody out. And an even count, 1 ball and 1 strike on Bowman. Hardhats bring the infield in, trailing by 4, the 1-1. So swung on and missed. Well, that's still Kelton Hastings at the plate. One ball and 2 strikes to count on Hastings. Here it is from Denke, and it's a chopper right to third. He stares down the runner at third, fires across in time. Nice play by Peyton Tipton for out number 1. Now Corey Williams. Williams 1 for 3, a 2-run single in his middle at-bat. Next in between a bouncer to first and a strikeout. First pitch blocked in the turf by Dietrich for ball 1. Infield still in for the Hardhats, trying to cut the runner down at the plate. Trying to not let this game balloon any more than a 4-run deficit heading into the bottom of the 7th. And Williams looks at ball 2 outside. 2 balls and no strikes. The 2-0 from Denke. Chopper, right side, snagged by the second baseman, Marsh, and only play is into first. That's out number 2, so Romero scores on the play. And Cheyenne has scored at least 1 run in each of the last 4 innings. So infield playing back now with the 2 strikes, and now Mason Tafoya swings through the first pitch, 0-1. Romero left on contact that time, and Marsh didn't have a play at the plate. But good communication for the Hardhats, just yelling 1-1-1. And Tafoya looks at a called strike 2 at the bottom of the zone. 0-2, Denke to Tafoya. And Tafoya thought about it. Laid off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Denke set. And the 1-2. Chopper to the left side. A tough flight for Kiefer. He throws on the run. Scooped on the back end by Hollick. And that's out number 3. So Kiefer makes a nice play for out number 3. Cheyenne on the board once again. It's 7-2. We head to the final half inning of regulation. Hardhats trailing 7-2. Back in a moment. Right here on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City. Welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail Broadcast Booth, Sales Service and Recreation. Here's the scenario, folks. Hardhats trailing 7-2. The final 3 outs of this ball game, they have to try and score at least 5 runs. And it'll come against Trenton Rodriguez at least to start. Hardhats have scored 1 run in each of the last 2 innings. That's the lone blemishes up on the scoreboard in that column for the Hardhats and Cheyenne defensively. Peyton Tipton leads things off, and he swings through the first pitch to go down in the count 0-1. Tipton, a big fly his last at-bat. Solo home run right by the Midco sign in left center field. And he swings through breaking ball that time, down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. First home run of the season for Tipton. Now the 0-2. This is high, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Outside of that home run, Tipton is 0 for 1 outside of that, so he's 1 for 2. He struck out in his only other at-bat. This is 3rd. The 1-2. High fly ball, left center field once again. Julian Romero back and now in, and he makes the grab in center field for out number 1. Now Dylan Marsh. 0 for 1 day, also hit by a pitch. And ran into an out, caught stealing at second. Too big of a secondary lead for Dylan. And he pops this one foul out of play. No balls and a strike on Marsh. He's followed by Wilson Kiefer, who's 2 for 2. Rodriguez winds, kicks, deals, and Marsh looks at ball 1 low. 1 ball and 1 strike. 7-2 our score. Cheyenne led 1-0 after 2. Scored 3 runs in the 4th and then 1 run in each of the last 3. And Marsh looks at ball 2 down and away. 2 balls and a strike. Rodriguez winds, kicks, deals, and the 2-1. Strike called right across the belt, 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. Here it is from Rodriguez. Tried to quick pitch wind up that time. And missed low, 3-2. Throw off the timing of Marsh. Here's the payoff. Down and away, ball 4. So Marsh draws a 1-out walk.
Walk brings up number 15, Wilson Kiefer.
And now Wilson Kiefer. 2 for 2 in this ball game. 1 single to leave the infield. Another via the bunt. Marsh on first, 1 out. Rodriguez from the stretch, and he delivers strike 1, caught on the upper inside edge, 0-1. 7 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for the Hardhats. 2 runs, 5 hits, 3 errors for post 22, and Kiefer pops it up foul, right side out of play. 0-2 the count on Kiefer. Rodriguez set. And the 2-strike pitch. Strike 3 called. It froze Kiefer. And a backwards K in the book, out number 2. 4th strikeout for Trenton Rodriguez on the mound. And the Hardhats down to their final out here in game 1. Top of the order now in Zeke Farley. Tap of the plate on the right side. Different bat for Zeke. White and black instead of his blue bat that he normally uses. He pops it foul out of play. Down in the count he goes, 0-1. An 0 for 3 day for Zeke so far. That might be why the bat change was necessary. 3 strikeouts. And Rodriguez fakes a move over to first. As Farley fouls away the 0-1. Now down in the count, 0-2. Hardhats down to their final strike of game 1 here today. Farley shoulder width with the 2 strikes. Here's the 0-2. And it's a high fly ball left center field, but underneath of it, Julian Romero makes the grab against his center field counterpart, and that's out number 3. So Cheyenne takes game 1 of this 2-game doubleheader, 7-2. And 2 for 2 so far here on the weekend. We'll take a 30-second step aside and come back for our Pioneer Bank and Trust post-game show right after this on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City. Welcome into the Pioneer Bank and Trust post-game show. Pioneer Bank and Trust is proud to support local sports, and they want to be your trusted partner for all your banking needs. Pioneer Bank and Trust is local. Visit pioneerbankandtrust.com. Hardhats fall in game one of this doubleheader, 7-2 to Cheyenne, and 0-2 on the weekend, so the Hardhats fall back under 500 to 7-8 on the season, and Post 6 improving to 16-0 on their season. As we get set in about a half hour for game number 3 of the series and game number 2 here this afternoon in Rapid City. Quick look of the box score in this one. 1 run came across for Cheyenne in the second, 3 more across in the fourth, and then each of the next 2 innings Cheyenne would score 1, and Post 22 matched both of those runs with a 1 run in each of the 5th and 6th innings of their own. So that results in the 7-2 victory, along with Cheyenne gaining 1 more in the top half of the 7th inning. 7-2, the victory for Cheyenne. Post 6, 7 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for Cheyenne, 2 runs, 5 hits, 3 errors for Post 22, and those errors came back to bite them here today. Hardhats, a fairly clean game last night and a tough loss, but the errors coming back to bite them here today in game 1. Brian Atkinson takes the loss for the Hardhats. Ended up going 4 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs all earned, no strikeouts and 1 walk. On the other side for Cheyenne, Bailey Applegarth takes the win. 4 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 5 strikeouts, no walks. And Trenton Rodriguez with the 3-inning save for Post 6, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 4 strikeouts, and 2 walks for Rodriguez in his save. So when we get set for game number 2, make sure to stick around and maybe grab a bite to eat in between. And we'll be back with a new stream on Hardhats TV and send things back to National Fox programming until game number 2 is about set to get underway. So stick around for game number 2 right now in about 30 minutes right here on Hardhats TV and Fox Sports Rapid City.